Hey, everybody. It's the Lighting Trade School podcast with Captain Matt and Glow Show Shane Duffy. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
What's up, man? This is just funny. Like, you got this radio voice, right? That like changes. That's radio Matt right there.
That's right. I clicked it on. Having a private conversation. And now it's time. Everybody look over here. And we have the Lighting Trade School podcast. I am in my new office here, and I got super fast internet. It's the first time I've had super fast internet in a very, very long time. Got my paintings back up, or color pencil drawings up behind me. The only artwork I've ever bought from a real artist. They are the originals, and I love them dearly. Anyways, just wanted to kind of put that out because I'm excited.
Yeah, I was wondering what those were. It looks like the little Lion King guy.
Yeah, well, it's a sloth, and it says, it's talking about death and accepting it. Everyone dies, and there's a goat with a skeleton goat, and this one here went viral on like TikTok with him drawing it because it's all colored pencils. And then I was like, yeah, I have to have that. So I talked to him. He's like, it's not for sale. I'm like, everything's for sale.
That's hilarious. That's a cool story. I mean, that's like Nate.
I love
Nate
it.
likes art. I've never bought art, but cool for you. We make with light, though, right?
That's right. That's right. So you were sharing with me before this podcast started. Also, guys, check out lightingtradeschool.com for our events. We just had a badass training a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago, out in San Diego. 21 guys, sold out event. Absolutely amazing. All hands on. Check out lightingtradeschool.com. Also check out, if you want to hook up with Shane, see what he's doing and his options. If you're looking to start and just have a brand ready to rock and roll, there is Glow Geeks licenses available. Or maybe you already have an established brand and you need some mentoring on Christmas landscape lighting or soffit lighting. Check out CaptainMattOutdoors.com. All right, Shane, you were listening to a podcast and you had some things popping in your head. Tell me what's going on.
Right. So I was just sharing this with you, and I listened to this podcast, and I'll reference it. Right. It was by a guy named Josh Latimer. If you don't know Josh, like Josh is, I think, one of the best speakers in the home service industry. Josh is gold, and he's so well articulated, and so gets his point across, top of the dome, and he can make a good story out of things. Like, I like listening to Josh. He's really, really good. But he was interviewing someone in his podcast. I think it's called The War Room. And this guy was a guy that was multi-millionaire, decamillionaire, came from not a lot, right? He was a firefighter, and he's kind of telling his story. And he has I think he has 200 million views on YouTube. I forget his name. Man, I wish I remembered his name, but that's not really important. But it made me think. They were both sharing, right, how they had people that did not believe in them kind of starting off in their home service journey. Josh, if you ever heard his story, he delivered pizzas in a trailer park before he started a window cleaning business. The other guy was sharing how he was a firefighter and had 20 different side hustles and was trying to make money and kept losing it. And it's just those stories kind of made me think of stories that like I heard, and people that said about me or didn't believe in me. And then I thought, well, I bet there's someone in the audience that like really feels that way. Sometimes business is like the most rewarding highs, and you feel so freaking good. You're in control of your own destiny. And at other times you just have the weight and the gravity of the responsibility of owning a business. And when you have team members, they got to get paid, their families got to get paid. And all of a sudden you got 30 mouths kind of depending on your efforts, or more or less. And it's a big weight. So just maybe think someone in that audience might have someone out there telling them, man, you need to go get a job. This isn't working. January, February, March can sometimes be rough months for a lot of people like in our industry. Maybe you're at the end of the line. Like, I'm here to tell you, it's normally right when you're ready to give up that there's some kind of a breakthrough. And giving up was just never my DNA. I say I was too stupid to give up. My
Yeah.
risk meter was too broke to even fully understand like what my capabilities are or aren't, early on. I mean, even from just high school, right? I had teachers that would tell my best friend's parents, "Don't hang out with that Shane kid." I would have, principals, who'd sit down with me and we're doing college meetings. Yeah, you're never gonna amount to anything. I would have family members, my wife's father-in-law specifically, always just ragged on me. Man, that is a stupid idea. He just always thought he was better than me, and he wasn't. I mean, we, ended up buying our dream home right at 27 years old, and he was like, "All right, you win." I'll never forget that. He came over,
Wait,
he
did you
saw
say your wife's father-in-law? Isn't that your dad?
my wife's father, who is my father-in-law.
Oh,
I said
okay. I
that.
was like,
Yeah. I remember, right? He walks into this super badass house on 8 acres, and we bought it. I was 27. He silently said, "All right, you win." Like there's like this internal competition, right? Who's the better entrepreneur? That's kind of funny. He literally said those words. Because at some point you become so successful, it's, shut the fuck up, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah, I made it. And you guys, like, if you're listening there, like, you will get to that moment, um, at some point. I think if y'all have been listening long enough, our taglines like dipshit millionaires. And like I say that, and I came up with that tagline because really we all are Nate, Matt, me. Like I don't think there's ever anything inherently like amazing or characteristically awesome. I was never super gifted creatively, or as a leader. Those things were learned. I think I had some core traits that make me who I am. But like all that stuff, like no one would have thought, that I'd be a multi millionaire. At this level, and right, the best is yet to come. So we had
yeah.
kids as teenagers. I went to jail multiple times, 3 times. So if you don't know my story, I had a lot of people, right, that didn't believe in me,
Yeah.
and a lot of stories that there's no way you would even believe if you didn't know me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was just last week for you, right? No, I'm kidding. Yes. Now you have a awesome story. And I think, I totally agree. Cause same thing in high school, the counselors even gave up. They're like, we're not going to even do college meetings with you, Matt. Like we're good. Like, don't go. We agree. Like, go work at McDonald's. And, I had a lot of, failed business ideas, failed businesses. Um, I had, well, just trying to remember all of them, right? I think I had 3 marketing companies that flopped. I had definitely 3 or 4 real estate, partnerships that, were buying real estate, totally flopped. Started an ancestry company. I was going to like research family trees, and then ancestry.com came out. And then I was going to do like wrestling t-shirts and all that. And, they wouldn't provide anything. So, I mean, all these things. And I just never gave up though. Like I was like, I keep a quote in my wallet. I used to, I've done work in current wallets. And it said, the greatest feats are accomplished by those too stupid to know they're impossible. It goes same thing with dipshit millionaire. It wasn't like, I know I can do this. It was like, yeah, I'm just gonna you can just do it. Like, why couldn't I? When everyone else is like, you're an idiot. And then when I started the Christmas guys, right back in 2009, and it wasn't even like, Facebook had just opened up to non-college people. So it wasn't even like an industry yet. I mean, there was obviously people doing it, right? But people laughed at me, friends and family, like literally just laughed in my face when I told them about it, or I was trying to find someone to help me work. And literally, people will never pay you for that, for Matt. Like, just go work, like, go back to your job. I was still working, I was side hustling, and everyone laughed at me. I can't pinpoint like one person that was like, wow, man, this is going to be awesome. You're going to do it. Right. And the same people literally came to work for me, years later, and now call me for advice. And it's like, yeah, it's funny how those of us dipshits who are just like, it's going to work at some point. I'm just going to keep fucking doing it. So if you're listening to this and you might be in that same boat right now, you might have had a bunch of failures, or maybe you had a win here, a loss there, and you just know your family, your friends, you don't feel supported. Like, fuck them. Like surround yourself with guys like me, guys like Shane, other guys who know what you're doing, because it can be very lonely as an entrepreneur, because we all know when we're starting out, before we've proven anything, uh, everyone thinks that we're a failure and laughs at us. Like, it's just true. And it's so funny. We can go get a entry level job making $27,000 a year, and people are like, wow, dude, that's fucking great. You're really on the way. You start a business, most people are going to laugh at you and tell you you're stupid, which
there's a meme that someone sent me on Instagram, and it was Jonah Hill. And he's sitting at a table with a girl that he's on a date with. And the meme like this said, conversations when you're talking to people who aren't entrepreneurs or something like that. When you talk to someone who's not building a business, and Jonah Hill's like, so do you like weather?
yeah, something.
Yeah, I almost can't relate, right, to someone who's not sitting there and building a business. And, it's just, we're not on the same wavelength. One thing that I would attribute to, and you just kind of triggered this thought, that I would say from my early teens, late teens, right? I sought after and found mentors who had what I want and kind of plugged in and got as close to them as possible. Because I didn't have like a family of entrepreneurs or even a family of success. We were all just kind of lower middle class, barely making it. So I took that, and literally, like, to this day, still, I try to surround myself with people where I am the lowest on the totem pole. So it makes me feel strive. Like, if you're the richest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to change rooms.
Yeah. And perfect example. One of the reasons you and I love going to the desert to hang out with Nate and his friends, right? I want to be the poorest and the dumbest person in the room. That's where the only way to go is up, and it's awesome. One of my coaches, when you are always the most successful or the richest or the smartest, however you want to say it, in the room, it can really fuck with your head, because you become the king of the shitheads. Not that those people are shitty people, but it's just a term. Yeah, I'm king of the shitheads. And if you're only around those people and you're always the top guy, like, you don't really push yourself because you're already the king of the shitheads. And that's a phrase that I always remember, king of the shitheads, because I was there, right? It was me. I was in the friend group and the circles. It was like me. And, I didn't realize at the time, but man, that got burned out. People who work for other people do not understand the weight of payroll, do not understand the weight of, there's not a job on the book next week. I got fucking 4 guys that are expecting me so that they can feed their family. Like, I don't get a week vacation that I can say, hey, don't send me any emails. Like, don't worry about it. Like, call somebody else. And that can be super bad for your mind, because you just end up not growing. You already think you achieved everything. I know I was in that spot. Like, you're fucking better than this. Da, 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 da.
So, yeah, if you're out there, right, chin up, right, you're in the right spot. You are my people, in the trenches, out there growing it, plugging with someone, fill your mind with positive information. This made me also think, on that podcast where they start, I can't help but to laugh. If you could just sub this out to entrepreneur, it says, well, you probably can't read it backwards, but you're an awesome mother. Keep that shit up. Coffee mug. You're an awesome entrepreneur. Keep that shit up. So the podcast started to talk about when you get a little bit of success. So now I'm talking for you guys out there that have started paying you guys, right? You're making a salary, you're making some money. I think sometimes, right, as business owners, we kind of get in this mindset of paying ourselves not what we're worth, because we're reinvesting it. We're building something. I think kind of as an entrepreneur, just inherently, you're like almost like a gambler at heart, right? Where we like risk and we want to put it back in there and grow something big. And I agree, there's a season in your business where that is crucial and you got to go all in. But once you start making money, I would highly recommend you diversify. Our goal for 2026 is 6 different incomes, making Shane 6 figures. And we have that all set. We've got probably 7 or 8 different incomes. Not all of them are making money, and not all of them are making me 6 figures. A few of them are, like it's an accomplishable goal. So once you start, you kind of have an asset, whether it's a business, whether it's your house, whether it's something that you have. I mean, we borrow money from that. We buy other assets. Uh, I I say that because debt's a double-edged sword, right? We don't really get into debt. I have almost no debt. All my trucks and stuff are paid off. But we have had real estate paid off, and we've refinanced it, and we've bought more real estate, or we buy equities or buy options, and they blow up, and now we've got $1 million in real estate and a lot of money in equity and crypto and stuff. So, like, yeah, I guess I'm just saying you got to start somewhere, start diversifying and putting money somewhere outside of your business.
Yeah, I think that's great. Amazing. We should do a call there, kind of how you got started on some of those things. I know I tell you often, right? Like I can learn from you on that. I often say, I am amazing at making money, but I am equally amazing at spending it. You know what I mean? But it's never, yeah, so much of the time it's in the business and, working alongside of guys in huge businesses and my coaching, with my coach, what happens is, and you've heard me say the king eats first, and it's super important. Yes, there's that season where you're not making any money, but I know I've been, when we're doing, the most amount of revenue. I remember that first year hitting like 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. Like I made the least amount of money, and I did that for like 3 years. I'd go 6 to 8 months without taking a paycheck at all. And what happens is burnout, because yeah, I'm building something, but will it fucking take 20 years to give me a fucking nickel? Will it take 50 years? Right. So and it's not just me, it's anybody, right? You get to a point where you're like, well, what the hell am I doing? And then you start burning things down, right? It's just what you do. Like this burn. I know how to start, let me go back to the fun shit of nitty gritty, starting over, doing it all over again. So I like to encourage people, yes, diversify, but also it is important to celebrate yourself with some of your wins and enjoy some of the fruits of your labor. Like I went fucking 15 years without ever taking a vacation, not because I couldn't afford it, because I was always making sure I had something to do with the business, always making sure I had to spend money on the business. I was stupid, right? You do need to celebrate. I'm not saying go blow all your money, right? Diversify it, but also make sure you enjoy some of the fruits of your labor. It's super important.
I had a mentor always say, his name is Aaron Walker, out of Nashville, and Big A would always say, don't come home with a pocket full of money to an empty house.
Yeah.
Don't be gone so much and grinding so hard that you lose, what's most important. Your comment made me think of that.
Yeah. It's a great point. Great point. All right. Well, I think it's a pretty good one. You got anything else you want to add, or you want to wrap this up?
No, yeah, I'll wrap it up. That's kind of short and sweet. That was on my mind. Just, I mean, if you're out there and you are in the trenches and it doesn't seem like things are moving, like plug in with someone who's been there where you are. You're not alone. Every entrepreneur goes through these. And if you're on the other side of that, you're able to start making yourself some money just before you go out and start buying expensive vehicles and taking expensive family vacations, right? Like build up that emergency account, throw some money in some investments. It's probably one of the hardest things to do is get to $100,000 in savings or in the stock market or something. Like once you do that, like it snowballs to $1 million really, really quick. Like got to get that seed, I guess, put in other places other than your business.
Yeah. It's like mental training too. It's like reps with anything else, right? Hey, everyone should have at least, 3 month savings, safety net. And so, well, if I can do 3 months, why can't I do 6? If I can do 6, why can't I do a year? But it's a mental discipline. If you have nothing in savings right now, it sounds like that's fucking crazy talk. You guys don't understand, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're all there, man. All of us. Mental discipline. You got to put in the work, just no different than working out. You need the reps to learn how to get there. So reach out. We're here for you. lightingtradeschool.com. All of our various social. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. Are you Glow Show Shane on the Instas, on the Facebooks?
On the Insta, Glow Show Shane.
Glow Show Shane, Duffy on Facebook. I'm Captain Matt. Captain Matt Official on Instagram. Hope you all have a great day. Go make some money and don't give up. Talk to you soon.